welcome back to another episode of Ben the Bedliner Guy. I'm Ben with Platinum Protective Coatings here in upstate New York. We are the Northeast distributor for bullet, spray-on, truck bedliner products. And today I want to show you a real quick way to go from black to a color bedliner. So we're going to do a nice silvery color for this customer. It's a rock art actually that we're spraying. But I want to show you the process of how to purge out your machine and with the black and then put in the color. So what I've already done here is I have removed my pump from my 55-gallon drum, and I put it into kind of a waste bucket just so that I can clean it. Get all the black off it so it's nice and clean. And then I want to show you really quick how you can bleed out the black. I use a ball valve setup here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what I did is I actually have a ball valve here. Then I have a Schrader valve that I'll connect my air to, and I will use air to purge out the entire line. And I'm going to show you that right now. Two things you have to remember. One is make sure the machine is either off or the machine can be on, but all the heat zones have to be off because you do not want to burn up a hose. The other thing you have to remember is you want to make sure that your blue valve on the front of your machine is in the spray position because you want to push all the black out through the gun end. Okay, so right now our machine is completely turned off. The valve's in the spray position. All I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my gun end over, and I've already done this, so I want to just kind of show you real quick. But notice I've taped up the A so the A won't drip into my resin to cause any problems in the near future. And I'm going to just connect my air line to my Schrader valve, just like that. This ball valve is closed. And now I'm going to go ahead and open up. We have these valves on our gun. I'm going to open the resin valve up. I'll wait for that to stop real quick. Okay, so the valve is open. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the Schrader valve. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Schrader valve now that my air line is connected to it. I'm going to slowly open that up. And what you're going to hear is take a second. It's bleeding out. It's bleeding out. And eventually you'll hear you'll hear the air come through. Just like that. So now what I've done is I've pushed all the black out with air. And I'm going to go ahead and, now I can turn this off. I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to disconnect the air line. Okay. Now we're ready to run our color through. Okay, so I'm just going to set this out of the way. Color. Let's talk about color for a quick second. I like to use Nason single stage full thane, urethane. It works great. So what I have here is I use 1 quart can per 5-gallon bucket of natural. And notice my natural is filled up about 1 inch below the top. Okay. Now what you see here is you see no binder with binder. Not all paint shops can do this. Not all paint shops can do this. So if you can find a guy that'll actually mix up your paint without binder, they're just giving you more pigment. They're not putting any filler in, which is the binder. So the one with the binder, we're going to use as a top coat to mix up with our catalyst, and we'll paint that with a paint gun after the fact. So this one's no binder. It's just double the pigment loading. So we're maximizing our pigment and our natural, so we get the perfect color. All right. I'm just going to pop this open. There's our color. If I do this while making a mess, just going to kind of get our mixer going here. Gotta go slow because you'll definitely make a mess. I do it all the time. Okay, so I went ahead and we switched out our bucket. Still have a little bit of air coming through our line, but that's pretty much the only waste you should have. And now we're going to go ahead and push the color through the system. So first thing we're going to do is open up our ball valve. Okay, make sure that's closed. Our ball valve is now open. This will allow the pump to pump all the way through the system, the material through the system and out the gun end. So I'm going to go ahead and now connect our drum pump with air. Just going to slowly open this up real quick. You're going to get a little bit of black, which is not a problem. So it's just going to pump until it starts coming out of the gun end. Morgan's going to open it up for us. So that's just going to spit air until the material comes through, which may take a minute or two. All right, so a couple things I want to mention real quick. We have now we have our color going through the system. You can see it's still black coming out. It's going to take a few minutes for the color to come through. Don't worry about it if color goes into the black drum. Black's very dominant and it's going to swallow up pretty much any color. So that's going to take a little bit. So let that run. You'll end up seeing is a stream of gray or silver here in a little bit. See, it's still black. Here in a second, that'll come through shortly. We're gonna have a little bit of metallic, so it does separate a little bit, which is fine. That's not an issue either. Don't worry about it separating. We're gonna pull down probably about 6 inches of natural, or excuse me, of color. If you have a large project, you can actually take your natural and dump it right back in to fill back up for making 5 gallons. Okay, so I forgot to mention in the beginning that it's important to make sure you thoroughly mix up your pony drum of natural. It does separate, and you'll see that when you first get your pony drum. So mix it up. These little thin mixers that collapse with the blades on it, those work great. They'll fit right down inside that 2-inch hole for the pony drum right here. Okay. Now that we have product going through the hose, I can go ahead and turn my machine on, which I already did, and now I can turn those zones on. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn just the heat on only and allow everything to heat up, and then we're going to go ahead and spray some color. Okay, just to recap, we completed our rock guard late last night, the silver rock guard, and we'll show you here in a minute. But I just wanted to cover that we had about a gallon left over of our color natural, the silver, and we dumped that right into our black drum. And then we just went ahead and purged out the color that was in the lines back into the drum and refilled the lines with black, and then you're all set to go. And just keep going.